I mean, there's the argument that around the world, it's impossible to have quality education come cheap. And, we keep saying about, our parents had free education, which of course is true. But then how many schools were there? How many students were there anyways? So maybe government could afford it. But government has gone into a stage now where to continue to, subsidize these things might be heavy. So my argument is, do you think it's fair? I'm just playing devil's advocate here now. Do you think it's fair for government to continue to bear these costs and not transfer some of them to students?
Thank you very much, sir. Going by what we said, we said we will be paying for the 6,500 now, 65,500 now. That means we ourselves offered to bear some of the cost. The government cannot come and tell us that they cannot finance this thing. Maybe I need to tell you that what LASU needs to run efficiently for a year is 10 billion naira. That will cover for its recurrent and its capital expenditure. The budget of Lagos State is over 400 billion naira. According to UNESCO, which Nigeria is a member, it said allocate 26% of your budget to education. So what we are saying is, if Lagos State government allocates 26% of its budget to education, then Lagos State University, being the only university that will be run by Lagos State government that needs just 10 billion naira, will not have problem of finance. What we are saying is other universities, other state universities, when you go to Adekoya Joseph University, when you go to Ambrose Ali University in Edo State, they are paying less. When you go to LASU, they are paying less, below 50,000 naira. Ogun State is even running 2 universities, and they're doing it fine. So Lagos State's economy that is even more viable than some countries in West Africa cannot come and tell us they cannot run LASU, because LASU needs just 10 billion naira per annum, and that is 900 million naira per month to cater for both its capital expenditure and its recurrent expenditure. So that is why we accept the fact that we too have to pay something. I will say, let us pay 46,500 now, because there's nowhere in the world where there's a correlation between how much you charge and the quality of education. No, what we have is how the quality of education and how much commitment its owners is putting into the university in terms of funding, and that is what we are saying.
Nurudeen?
Actually, I want to tackle this issue from another perspective. The government of Lagos State is socially responsible for some things, employment of the people and some other things like that. Those who are employed in and teaching in LASU, they shouldn't be seen as not part of Lagos State government responsibility. The government is responsible for the employment and some other things like that in the state, because they pay their taxes in the state and some other things like that. So saying that you want to base the budget of LASU on some things will be contradictory. What we're saying is, if the government can, from local government and some other establishment, have some things done, then it should be done in LASU too. Maybe one thing that we need to know is the same fixed overhead cost that LASU will use in 2000 to educate 10,000 students will be the same thing that will be used to run 1,000 students, because the government cannot just retrench the staffs there. It is not just done anyhow like that, because the people will look at it. You are employer of these people, so you should bear some things for them in terms of your responsibility as a government. Now, what we are saying is, in education and money is not education. Maybe let's say it like this. When education was free in this country, Nigeria, we have what they call better education, because then since the school and the system was very good. Now, when we were growing up, if some things are now changing in society, it doesn't mean that the student should bear the burden. In Section 18 to the Nigerian Constitution, it is provided that education is one of directive principles of the government of the country. Though Section 6, subsection 6, paragraph C of the same Constitution said these things cannot be, it will only be done when it is attainable. Now, we cannot say when this thing is attainable, but the government cannot say they can't be education, because not giving us education will even go up more from the government. Looking at the social implications of this, people that are not educated, they will resort to doing some things, and as a result of that, they will come back to ask the government, and the rich people, the few in society, their own share of the state resources. They will come
eventually.
And some other things.
So what's the end to this now? Because I mean, like we said, the governor has decided to reduce. You said it took a percentage off, but LASU is still not satisfied. So what is the end to this?
Thank you very much. LASU not being satisfied is not as a result of the fact that we are not reasonable. In fact, we are very reasonable with the government. 34% of how much a medical student will pay is about 250,000 naira. The minimum wage in Lagos State is 18,000 naira. How do you expect a man that earns 18,000 naira or a little above 18,000 naira to send a child to LASU to study medicine for a session that is no more than 7 months? Sir, what we are saying is the government needs to be reasonable. What they are saying is they need to cut down some of unnecessary spending. Education, according to Obafemi Awolowo, is a tool for emancipation. According to Mandela, the only charity, the only gift you can give to the people is education. The government has taken virtually everything from us. They have taken power from us. We now generate our power ourselves. They have taken food from us. They have taken security from us. The only thing that is left in their care for us is education. And we are saying they cannot take education from us. What we are saying is 46,500 naira and 65,500 naira. When you look at that compared to the old fee, it is about 100% of what we were paying before. I think any increment you want to do that is above, that is 100%, is still reasonable enough. And that is what we are saying.
Okay. Just very finally now, I know you've met with the governor at least, or his cabinet a few times. If you had a word to say to him now, what would you be saying to him very quickly?
In the resolution of the government, in paragraph 8, line 2, government can still reduce this fee on compassionate grounds. Now, the problem that we have with the percentage reduction is this. We advocated that some things should be expunged. Now, the question that I want to ask is, have they been expunged? We said some things should be reduced. Have they actually reduced? We want to know how much we are paying for medicals. We want to know how much we are paying for teaching. We want to know how much we are paying for this. So what we're saying is the government should, on compassionate ground, reduce the fee. We remembered Awolowo for education. He constructed roads. The Cocoa House there in Ibadan needs to be rehabilitated after some years now. Jakonde constructed roads too. Fashola is constructing roads. He's doing infrastructure. Yes. But the only thing that we, the people, can remember him for in a longer period of time is the number of people he can set free from the shackles of this vicious circle of poverty, education. And that is the only thing that can take us out from it. Because with education, we start to have initiative of how we want to do. A shoe cobbler will want to think of making fine shoes and branding some other things like that. So let him give us education. Yes, he has done well in some other sectors. We're not disputing that. We are not twisting the government or forcing the government to accede to our demand. But government should, as a matter of urgency, as a matter of fact, as a matter of responsibility, as a matter of promise, as a matter of brighter, rewarding future, should give us education.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nurudeen. Thank you very much, Adekoya. Hopefully, the Governor has been listening, and we hope that this ends as soon as possible. We're going to take a very quick break now and be right back with more right here on Rubbin Minds. Well, welcome back. A big thank you to Basketmouth for joining us on the show today, and also to Nurudeen and Adekoya from the Lagos State University Students' Union Government for coming to talk to us about the issues they have with tuition, and hopefully that gets resolved soon enough. Well, the Super Eagles are going to be playing tomorrow, like I said, so good luck to them. Hopefully by the time I'm here again on Sunday, we'll be singing, great songs and happy songs, saying that they would have qualified by them. But like I always say, you can join the conversation on Twitter at YNigerTV is the handle. The hashtag is Rubbin Minds. You can also visit the website yniger.com/TV. Remember, you've never seen young people talk like this before. I'll see you next week. We represent.